and I carry a second 1-gallon water bottle that I just set out in the sun, let it warm up, pour it over you. It's enough for a shower as long as you don't have to wash your hair. It's 2 water bottles if you should wash your hair, 1 if you don't.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to meet Nola Lee. Hi Nola.
Hello.
And she is living in as you can see, a truck camper with a shell. And she has several unusual methods of making an income. So I wanted to promote those, and we'll take a look inside the truck and a tour as well. So Nola Lee, how long have you been on the road?
I started first on the road at the very end of 2019.
Oh, wow. Long time.
Well, it's been off and on a bit.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So, I was actually living in Thailand and was watching all the motorcycle around the world women, Itchy Boots, for example.
Love her.
And my wanderlust was really starting to kick in. You know, I was living the expat dream, right on the beach in Thailand, sleepy little town, but I'm a wanderer. And when I started seeing those videos, I just knew I had to get back on the road, but I had dogs and I couldn't figure out how. And I came across your videos. And I thought, that I can do. And I sold my house there thinking I'll come back to the United States and buy an RV, which I did. And I came back. I went to the RTR in 2020 and then bam, COVID. So instead I spent the next 1.5 years in the forest learning to kayak and, just kicking back and relaxing quite a bit. So the plans changed, but it's still been a great experience.
And what were you in then?
And then I came back, I got a Class C, and I was towing a motorcycle as well. Some things went awry with my semi-retirement, so I'm kind of starting over again.
So you're retired, and that's how you were at that time supporting yourself in Thailand?
Well, I owned my own home in Thailand, and I had a store that was an online store that was generating about $5,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I figured I could, use my house money to buy an RV. Just before COVID hit, the online store, which was getting most of its traffic from a certain social media site, the social media site just turned me off one day.
They have that power.
And my income dropped over 95% instantly. I decided to grow up. I'd been traveling in Mexico and came back up here and started working pet sitting. So I boondock in between pet sitting gigs, and if it's a short space in between, I actually stealth camp in the city.
And I know a lot of people who have added pet sitting to their nomadic life, and it does well.
Yeah.
And it pays pretty well.
And you can do it anywhere. I just get really attached to some of the dogs and hate to leave them after a while of my customers, But yes, you can move to at least between climates twice a year would be great.
So is there an organization that organizes that, or do you just do it on your own?
I tried it on my own, and I do have a website for it, but nobody ever books through there. So I did sign up for the ROVER app, rover.com. And, they do take 20%, which is a lot, but I'm constantly booked. If people don't book me 2 months out, they're pretty much out of luck.
How much do you make on a pet sitting job?
It depends upon the number of dogs. I personally charge about $55 for one, and then an additional $20 for each additional dog. My background is in zoology, so I have an advantage in that I can take care of exotics as well. So people with, their iguanas and their snakes and things can look at my resume and say, that's the one I want. But almost everybody books me for dog sitting.
So is that $55 an hour, $55 a day?
A day. I stay in people's homes. That way I can, just be there full time. And as you said, I have many jobs, and my other one is book publishing and design. So this allows me to take that laptop into their home, stay with their dogs, and work the second business at the same time.
Right, they'd work really well together.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your truck and camper.
Okay, the truck itself is a Ford F250, a 2008. It just went over 100,000 miles, but it was a former snowplow truck, so that adds a little to its age. And snow adds to all of our age as far as I'm concerned. And then the camper shell I picked up down south of Ensenada, Mexico, and had it put on most of the way, but the guy kind of wandered off before he finished the project. And I'm not a handy person, so you'll see the spray and foam and things like that were done by me. And basically, because I live 3 different lives, the pet sitting, the stealth camping in the city between pet sitting, And when I have longer gaps, I come out to the desert and boondock. I've got it set up really basic in the back where it's always comfortable for me wherever I am. And then the front in the cab, I'll show you later, is a closet which has whatever I need for whichever lifestyle I'm living at that moment.
Right. Right.
And anyway, from the door right here, I started off with, let me get up here, putting Velcro, just one side of the Velcro tape along here, and that makes it so you can easily tape the netting over it, or just press the netting over it to keep bugs out. I go out to Lake Mead a lot and then take it down like that. Or you can add clip over here and here to block the sun sometimes when it's in your way, and the sarong, and it still allows a lot of airflow through it because, as you see, it doesn't have screens. So this is the screen, and I like to just keep the door open as much as possible, and the
Right.
sarong helps with that. I have a TV tray here, which folds up and fits right in here when I'm on the road. And it sits right there, and I'm short enough, being 5'3", that I can actually sit on the bed and work with the TV tray open to do a lot of my work. And when I need to relax and stretch out a bit, there's a beanbag chair at the end. And I think beanbags and sarongs are some of the most underrated necessities for boondocking. So keep that in mind, everyone. The bed itself, I got a little carried away, is a 10-inch memory foam mattress.
Oh my.
Plywood underneath, which is 3/4 inch on 2 bricks. And that gives me room to keep all my shoes here. The bricks are here and here. There's just 2 of the 6x12 bricks. And in between here is a wider space.
So that's the leg. The bricks are the legs.
The bricks are the legs. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You'll see my ugly curtaining job, but these do just come right down at night. I used Velcro, and then the Velcro ties I slid in between each piece of the Velcro tape so that I could roll up the curtains, because I like a lot of light and windows open. I like to see if an animal's going by. And then I have a little table here that my best friend made for me, which has been very handy. Keep the little things that you need to reach if you get cold at night, your scarf, your socks, extra pair of glasses.
So because you're a pet sitter, you don't need to have all the trimmings of life out here.
Correct.
So you have a stove. It's outside.
Yeah.
And when you get someplace, you set up kitchen, and you spend most of your time outside.
Yep, exactly.
And you're only in here when you're sleeping and bad weather.
Right. If I'm working on my computer and there's no shade, then I have to come into for
Right.
that as well. You know, I got to give the guy credit for one thing. He put a 2x4 between a shell and the top of the truck bed.
Oh yeah.
And bought me an extra 2 inches height, and it really makes a difference.
It sure does. And it's already a tall shell, like 6 inches higher than most.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And all the windows, wow.
I like my light.
Yeah, you can see out just everywhere, all the way around. And so the one thing that a lot of people say about trucks and shells or campers is you have to get out and go around, so they're not quite as safe.
Right.
Has that been an issue for you?
I would prefer a step through, again, or something that could get me up front. Again, the reason I'm in Vegas doing the pet sitting in addition to my books is so that I can save up for a van. If this were perfectly mechanically sound and I could jump through there, I would probably just keep this, because again, it is really comfortable and you really get used to the very simplicity of it.
Mm-hmm.
This side for the front is kind of the bathroom, the toothbrush meds. It's where the water is. These are the horse pellets that I use for my lovely expandable toilet.
Nice, yeah.
And then here I have kitchen things like crackers and things that the mice might really be attracted to. Most of my kitchen stuff is in one of these, but out by my table when I'm boondocking. But anything that the mice are going to make a straight beeline for, I go ahead and put inside at night. Down here, this is sort of my junk drawer. Flashlights, batteries. Charge my cell phone up there. I have a second Jackery that fits right in there. They're both old and used, and not all their plugs work. The USB seems to give out on all of them.
Do you have solar to charge them?
Yeah, I have a 100-watt solar panel.
100-watt solar
It's an
panel.
old one. I've had it since I got on the road, and so far so good. And then on this side, it's basically my walk-in closet. I do Planet Fitness, so I've got some bathroom supplies in here as well. Depending upon what I'm doing, this is either my Planet Fitness supplies or the bag I carry in when I start a pet sit. But I do carry a bunch of other clothes, just like everybody else,
Like everybody,
hidden
yeah.
away in here, and some winter clothes, laundry. I can tie a sarong across here when I don't have my shower tent and I'm out, in order to change or to rinse off. And I carry a second 1-gallon water bottle that I just set out in the sun, let it warm up, pour it over you, and nothing fancy about it, but it's enough for a shower as long as you don't have to wash your hair. It's 2 water bottles if you should wash your hair, 1 if you don't. But that's pretty much everything. It's really simple, but it's also really easy, which I like.
And you've done it a lot of years, so apparently it's working well for you.
So far, so good.
And for all the people out there that are thinking about doing it, women in particular, but everybody, and they're a little afraid, they're not sure, do you have any advice?
Oh, was it Spielberg who said walk, or Da Vinci, I don't know, walk to the edge of a cliff, jump, and make your wings on the way down.
That's a good advice.
So many people are sitting around getting everything just so before they leave. The time I took to sell my house in Thailand and get here was probably 90 days. And that's with placing rescued dogs at various organizations, packing up my own dogs and my own household, and getting rid of everything. Just do it.
And you also mentioned that you publish books. Tell us a little bit about that.
I originally moved to Thailand when I was travel writing and doing it full time, columns, guidebooks, and things like that. And I burnt out while I was there and stepped away from self-publishing and writing guidebooks. As time went on, just moved on to going back to volunteer work for different rescues and things there. But when I came back here and the store I mentioned collapsed, and I finally grew up and realized I needed to get back into making some money, I thought, what's the one thing I can do from the road where I can do my research, do my publishing and everything else with my skill set? And it was the books. So I came back in, but instead now I design mostly activity books, word searches, crossword puzzles, logbooks, and journals.
This is the Ultimate Boondockers Dispersed Camping logbook that you created.
Yes.
And I have looked into these before, and I think this is the best one I've ever seen.
Thank you.
I really do. I mean, it's a very, very handy and good thing.
I looked into them too because I just wanted one. So I looked into them on Amazon and I thought, they were all for RV parks. I really wanted to be able to record stuff and give people a place to just keep it all in one area. I'm not one of the people who keeps everything on my phone. And it led to me doing one for pet sitting too, when I found there wasn't an adequate book for pet sitters to keep track of information.
Oh, well, tell us about that.
Okay, that is the Pet Sitting Professionals Logbook and Journal. And it is smaller than this, but it helps the pet sitter keep track of, because there's more than just, hi, feed my dog. You're taking care of somebody's home. They're trusting you to pick up their mail, to get the dog's meds out to them. You may need gate codes and things like that to get into the property, addresses. And when you do 1 or 2, it seems fine. But when you start going from one to the other and meeting 5 different people a month before you go back to their house, it's a lot.
You're interested in pet sitting, and there's another logbook for you.
Okay, this is the body of the main body of the book, which is a logbook on one side where you can document where you're staying, necessities and amenities that are nearby, and the other side is the notepad or journal. You could put in photos, draw maps here. You can write specific information about the camp here, or you could write a poem, whatever inspires you to make it your own. And that is most of the book, but because a lot of us visit so many places, I then put a sort of build your own table of contents at the front, where you can put on the page number and the date you were at a place. If you were sitting at a campfire with other people and you want to pull up the information real quick, you can find it and use this as your table of contents. And then there are other things towards the back. There's a mileage log, people you meet along the way, which is your contacts, be it other people or perhaps your good mechanics that you find at different towns, recipe cards, blogs and resources, just kind of a wide range. And then you're at a glance calendars at the back.
If you don't mind me asking, how much is it and how can people get it?
I believe it is on Amazon. It is $11.99.
A lot of times I know people who look back and think, where was that campsite? I loved that campsite. How do I get there again? Well, with this, you've always got it. And the name is The Ultimate Boondockers Dispersed Camping.
Dispersed Camping Logbook and Journal.
Logbook and Journal. Well, thank you so much for Nola Lee, and remind everyone again how they can get your books.
My books are on Amazon, and you can see a lot of them, or you see book announcements on my Facebook page at Soggy Nomad Press. And I do have a website at soggynomadpress.com.
Very good.
You can reach me through that.
Everyone go there. Okay, well, thank you so much, Nola. I appreciate your sharing your life and your work. And pet sitting is something a lot more people should think about. A lot of us love dogs and cats and all kinds of pets. So, folks, if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.